Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way, if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way. If you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous, did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments, get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes up.
Part 2 gang, y'all, let's get it, y'all. Part 2 gang, y'all, let's get it. Like, share, subscribe, y'all, let's get it. Let's get it. Let's go. Man, that junk was crazy, man. I'm in the door like, no. I'm just watching them take the yacht. I'm like, this junk crazy. When they take the yacht, this is what they do. They put a display on. They make you know that they took the yacht. They'll come take the yacht, and they'll go outside. They'll take it out the building. And every building had a drain like close to it, like a big, y'all know the big sewer drains, the big square junk where it's like open on the outside and all that. They'll go right down there. They'll get a knife or a pencil or an ink pen. They'll be like, poof, poof, poof. They'll stab that junk. You just see them. Next thing you know, all you see is super rotten fruit on the ground. That's all you see is around the sewer. Then I got rid of the yacht, man. I'm like, yo, that junk crazy, man. As soon as they let us off lockdown, we had to go to trial. We walking, I walk down there and go holler at Ruben roommate. I was like, yo, what happened? He was like, man, I told him don't burp the junk, man. He was trying to burp the junk right before they counted. He said it was gonna blow up and wasn't gonna make the count. So he told me he had to burp the junk. I told him don't burp the junk. I'm like, I can't believe this, man. I'm like, this is crazy. But this is the gamble that you take when you're dealing with that wine game. Like, you might take a fall, you might take a loss. That's how it go, because the police, they don't care about it. But like, they gonna come forward if they smell it or they see it. Like, that's just how a penitentiary is. So like, I was sick, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. Ruben was gone. The play was gone. The investment was gone, man. Like, I was mad about that whole situation, man. But the only good thing that I had, man, in my corner was that I was going to 30 buildings soon. And I was cool with that. Like, I was like, man, I ain't mad at that, man. But I'm like, somebody else gonna get Ruben, and that's what it's gonna be. So I went on and got moved to 30 building. Fast forward to tape, I got moved to 30 building. I'm in 30 building now for a second. Man. So I'll say probably like 3 months in to 30 building. Like that time, I forgot about Ruben. I ain't gonna lie. Why? Because Lala was everywhere in 30 building. And there was people with more wine everywhere in 30 building. It was like a new place. I moved to a new city, basically. Like, my word, it was a whole new city I moved to. 30 building was jumping. So like, I was cool. Like, I wasn't thinking about like, I'm gonna make a play. No, I was about making plays with Lala now. Like, I'm back on that. So I was chilling. Like, I wouldn't even think about Ruben, man. So like, the whole time, I guess Ruben had went back to that side of the yard that I was on. You know what I mean? The first time on 60 building side. So I ain't seen him like that no more. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't seen him for a while. So like the summertime came. So when the summertime rolled back around, that's when I seen him. I seen him and I saw him, you know what I mean, a couple times. Like, we spoke. He was like, what you up to? He was like, man, I'm up to a lot of things. Still making that gas. They keep locking me up for it, though. I was like, man, you wildin', man. So we kicked it for a minute. But he told me he was still making that gas. So I'll say probably like another 2 weeks go by, man. So like, I ain't even see Ruben like that no more, man. So one day I had went to 229 and my man part, like, I'm going to 31 party, mess with my homeboy. So like, go over there, I'm in the cell kicking it with bro for a minute. So it was about time to go to dinner, and that's the time I slide out, pause. So I'm standing like by his railing at first. Then he was like, come on, let's walk by the steps. So we walk by the steps. So we put our back to like the little jump before the steps go down there. We like right there, we chilling. Like, I'm looking at everybody in the party. Where you at? Like, what's up, bro? A couple dudes I'm hollering at, chilling. I looked up, I just seen a dude going to the microwave from downstairs, man. I couldn't see nothing but his bald head. But he was like this, walking to the microwave. He was like, I knew that walk from anywhere. I was like, yo, bro, wait, it's more than y'all part. He was like, who, that bald head dude, that country dude? I'm like, yeah, he like, dude, super country. I was like, yo, he from Red Onion there. I said, bro, that's where he from. He from out there. He was like, oh, yeah, I don't know. He was like, he moved in here last night. I was like, for real? He was like, yeah, they moved in from the other side over here. So I said, yo, man, now my homeboy make the wine too. I ain't gonna lie to you. My man make the wine. Like, he's to the point where, like, he don't even, like, buy it from nobody like that because he make his own. Like, he had enough to go to commissary whenever he want to buy his own material and make his own yacht. Now, was he on the level of Ruben? No, he wasn't on the level of Ruben, but still though, he still made good enough yak to mess with the Lala. So he know about the yak too. So I said, yo, bro, look. I said, man, listen, dude right there is a chemist. I said, he's a chemist, bro. I'm letting you know he's a chemist, man. And for real, he know how to make that yak. I said, bro, he grew up over there by West Virginia. I said, you know the show that be coming on? So now somebody had been told me like, yo, when he said he was from West Virginia, and that's how he know how to make the moonshine. He was like, dude, turned me on to the show that used to come on the History Channel. That I never really watched that much on Lawrenceville because there was so much other stuff that I was watching when I first got there. And they did used to have the moonshine show that used to come on the History Channel. And them dudes was basically bucking on the police, making moonshine in the woods. So this looks like this is right up Ruben alley. Ruben don't look like he do nothing else but make moonshine in the woods, y'all. So boom. So I'm giving bro the count like, yo, bro, listen. Like, yo, like, dude, like, I'm about to put a play together because dude made that yak. So my man, like, for real, better than me. I'm like, I ain't want to tell him. I'm like, yeah. Kind of slightly though, bro. His don't be gas. I said, he country, bro. He know how to make the moonshine. My man was like, man, that's the word. I'm gonna see he could put it together. So I'm like, all right. So I'm like, let me go holler. I said, I'm gonna holler back. So I said, come the door open. I'm gonna dip. He's like, all right. So I shoot down the steps. I see him at the microwave. I was like, I tapped him on the shoulder this way. He turned around this way. I was on this side. He was like, I said, what's up, man? He was like, oh, I forgot you over here, T-Weezy. What you got going on? I was like, man, I'm chilling. I said, how you end up over here? He was like, shh, got into it with my celly last night. He talking about I snore too much. Man, me and him got to arguing, man. The sergeant over there just moved me over here. So I'm good now. I was like, yo, look, what's up? I said, what you doing? He was like, look, it's a different ball game now, man. He was like, man, I ain't making that wine no more. He said, it's not worth it. It's not worth it no more, man. I said, what you mean it's not worth it? He said, it's not worth it. I keep going to the hole. They don't let me make it over here. I said, look, you're not over on that side of the yard no more. I said, now you're over here in La La Land. I said, La La Land? I said, look, they not tearing you off of that wine like that over here. I said, they don't even care, to be honest with you, man. Like, you can go get all the fruit you want, all the juices you want. I said, you just give me the word and we back in the game. He was like, man, I still don't want to make none, man. He was like, because, like, you know, it's not even worth it, man. Like, it's not even worth the hassle like that no more, man. Like, you know, like, I still haven't made none of my own. And, like, you know, everybody just keeps sponsoring me, man. So, like, I don't really know what to freaking do with the joint, man. Like, I'm tired. I said, look, don't worry about it. I said, if I get all this stuff, I said, and you over here with my man job be moving around too with that. I said, look, is you gonna do it if I get the stuff though, man? Answer that question, man. He was like, look, T-Weezy, man, like, what you don't know is, like, the wine game is over with, man. I got a better idea. Something better than wine. I'm like, something better than wine. Now, it's been a time that it's been a guy that came up there on Lawrenceville and they said he perfected the game of making clear. Now, I only heard about that room and I didn't even see it since I've been on Lawrenceville so far because it's just so much wine. It's wine everywhere on that joint, y'all. I promise y'all, like store day, you're going to see dudes moving around. That's what you're going to do. Yeah, collecting money for the la-la too and for the tobacco game, but you're going to see dudes moving around, man, trying to make that yak game. That's a lot. So I'm like, yo, it's not even like that over here. He was like, man, look. He was like, look, man. He said, look, come to my room. I said, where you sleeping at? He was like, I'm in the handicap cell with the dude in the wheelchair. He said it with a smile. I was like, what you smiling about that for? He was like, because I got a job too. I got to push him in the wheelchair. So they paying me for that. So he was happy. Like, I was like, look, I'm not like the dude in the wheelchair. I'm like, man, all right, man. So I walked back there. You know what I mean? His cell looked super grimy. I'm like, oh, man, get this joint cleaned up a little bit, man. He was like, I just moved in, T-Weezy. I said, what's up, though? He went under his bed. He was like, is anybody at the door? I was like, man, nobody looking. He was like, look what I got. It was like a joint like this big. Pause. It was like this long. I'm looking at it. I'm like, what is that? He was like, it's a pipe. I was like, it's a pipe. So freaking what? It's a pipe. He was like, I stole it. Nobody knows where it came from. Looking for it all over the freaking place. He said, I can't tell you where I stole it from yet because you're going to try to steal my style. I said, man, I ain't trying to steal nothing, man. I don't care where it came from. I said, let me see it. I grabbed it. It was like a little pipe. Pause. Like, it was like a little, it looked like a bong slightly, man. Like, not like real huge bong with the bowl. Like one of them skinny like, little joints. I'm like, without the hook at the top, it was like, looking at it, I'm like, and the job had a little hook. As I looked at it, I'm like, where you get this from? I couldn't figure it out. I didn't know where you get it from. But I'm like, what this got to do with the wine, though? He was like, F the wine. We done with wine. He said, the wine, I'll still make the wine. You might can get a little bit of the wine. He said, but the wine that I make, the wine that I create, that wine make the clear too easy. So boom, I'm sitting there like, oh, I'm like, the clear. He like, yeah, the clear. The clear. He was like, the clear is a whole new different ball game. It's a whole different ball game because you got to know how to make it. He said, the only way you make it is if you make good wine. He said, if you don't make no good wine, it ain't going to burn off right and you ain't going to get no clear. So he was like, this is what I need. Forget the wine. He said, if I get these items right here, then me and you can rock. I was like, what do you need? He was like, I need a hot pot and I need Coca-Cola sodas and hot balls. That's what I need. You get me those? We got a plan. We got a plan. I said, hold on, time out, Ruben, man, time out. I said, look, let's get it understood. I said, cause look, I said, when me and you did the wine thing once, I said, you know, one of them batches got tore off, right? So I put a lot of money into that. You know what I mean? He was like, I know. I said, I know you know, but look, this is what I'm saying though. I said, if I get those items for you right there, like, how much clear are you gonna be able to make off how much wine you're making? I said, how much wine you think you're gonna make? He was like, shit, I'm trying to make 5 gallons. I'm trying to make 5 gallons. That's why I told you I need the sodas and candy. I'm trying to make 5 gallons. He said, if I make 5 gallons, he said, man, 5 gallons will probably get us freaking probably about 6 bottles of clear. 6 bottles of the water bottles the police have. Cause like I didn't even know about water bottles at the time. Like I'm still thinking people drinking water out of a cup on the street. I didn't even know that. He was like, you know the water bottles that the police throw away when they drinking water up here? I was like, yeah. He was like, start collecting them. I was like, start collecting them? No, you start collecting them. What I gotta collect them for? He was like, cause that's what you put the clear in. He said, Gatorade bottles and water bottles, that's what we gonna hold the clear in. He said, each bottle goes for $50. So I'm like, man, I start adding up. I'm like, he said 6 bottles, I'm gonna get 3. You know what I mean? But I'm like, for real, like mine's don't be for sale. I might sell 1, but I'm like, for real, if that junk come out looking like the real clear game, I might don't sell a dime game, y'all. So boom, I'm being honest about that too, man. But I'm like, I thought it wasn't a bad deal, to be honest with y'all, man. Like Ruben, he know the count. Like it's not a bad deal. So like, there was nobody in the pod. It was nobody in our pod, y'all. I'm telling y'all, there was nobody in that pod that knew how to make clear. Nobody knew how to make that joint, man. Now, I'm not saying they didn't know how to make it. I'm not going to say they didn't know how to make it. I never seen nobody make the clear. It just be the wine. See, I never knew that you make the clear from the wine. I never knew these things, man. I was green to everything. So he pull up on me again. He was like, look, you made your mind up? Yeah, so I'm like, I finally made my mind up. I'm like, yo, I'm going to do it, man. I'm going to go ahead and invest in them again. Because I'm like, 30 building was different. I kind of knew what was going on. I knew what officers was there. I knew like who to trust. Like, you know what I mean? We didn't have cycles over there at the moment. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and make that play. So I went on and made the play for him. I got everything he needed. And just like that, me and him was back in business. You know what I mean? It was just the crazy thing was that he just was in my man pod. You know what I mean? So when I hollered at him, he was like, look, as he was getting everything together, and he was like, look, they said y'all got a sale open over there. He was like, can you get me over there? He said, only reason I don't want to stay over here, he was like, because the dude in the wheelchair, like medical comes to the door like a lot to bring up his medicine. Like, so he was like, I don't want the police to smell. I was like, yeah. He was like, I'm not going to be able to burn the clear. I was like, yeah, it made sense. So I was like, let me work on that, dude. I was like, you just go ahead and prepare and get the joint right, and I'm gonna get you moved. So the way I had to get him moved was, it cost a little bit of change, not a lot of money, but I had to pay the dude that worked for the counselor, man. I had to pay him $20. He wanted $20. That's what he used to charge to kind of get you moved from pod to pod, sale to sale. That was his hustle, so I wasn't mad. So we did have a sale over, which was the back sale, kind of close to where he was at now in the handicap, but still on the bottom tier. So I made that play. So the person he was moving in the sale with, man, we're going to call him Clint. Clint was a cool dude, man. I think Clint was from Emporia or something like that, man. You know what I mean? But he was a cool dude that was in there, kind of diesel dude. You know what I mean? He was cool, but he was another dude that liked to party too, though. So, like, I told him what I was doing because he was in the sale dodo. I was like, look, man, I'm about to get a dude over here from Big Stone Gap, Virginia game. I was like, man, look, he made that moonshine. He made the moonshine. I was like, man, I'm about to put a plate together. I said, look, let him come in the room. He just trying to cook the jank and you'll be able to drink, bro. He cool, da-da-da-da. He was like, he ain't trifling. I'm like, no, he ain't trifling. Like, not that I know of. I'm like, but this, you know, I'm gonna look out for you. He was like, all right, just look out for me when it come up. Bam. So I made the play. Hollered at the dude, paid him the $20. Next thing you know, Ruben was coming through our pod like this with the car. He was like, I said, man, this man walked like a freaking Irish maniac. So boom, he get his stuff right. I helped him take his stuff to the sale. I ain't want to, like, I seen the wine in the box. So we had to hide that, kind of like, we don't know him fermenting like the beginning stages of the base. So he got that in the sale. Everything was straight. He in the pod with me. So like I told him, though, I was like, look, man, I was letting him know, like, look, This is what I'm saying, though. I was like, man, once we start doing this, man, I was like, man, I'm not going to want to stop investing. So I'm just letting you know this the count right here. He was like, yeah, it's me and you. It's me and you. So I'm like, all right, so look, the only thing I had to tell him was that my homeboy is a drinker, man. You know what I mean? My homeboy is a drinker. Kind of diesel a little bit. My homeboy kind of tall, but he love the yacht. I ain't gonna lie, man. He love the yacht. It's just certain people that you will know and bump into that really love that wine. My homeboy was one of the ones that love that wine, man. So like, he ain't really care about the Lala as much. He love the wine. So I had to go to him to get the sodas. So when I went to him to get the sodas, he was like, look, bro, just throw me a bottle. You getting 3. So he was like, so I was like, basically, like, that wasn't a bad deal either. But what he did tell me was like, yo, look, man, I'm trying to get in the car. Put me in the car. You know what I mean? So I was like, with him being my homeboy, I'm not trying to like hog nothing. This is about getting toe up. Like, wasn't even about money at the moment. Like, this was about getting toe up. You know what I mean? Like, getting lit when we want to. This is about. And plus, I never tried to clear yet anyway. So I put him in the game. So I tell Ruben, I said, look, I'm going to get you to meet my homeboy. He was like, who? I was like, look, he cool. Don't worry about it. He from Norfolk. You ain't got to worry about nothing. He a cool dude. I rock with him. But he the one that gave me the sodas. But I told him I want you to meet. Y'all can meet. Because he driving in the car with me, though. He was like, all right, that's cool. Like, I mean, I'm not too worried about nobody that you deal with. Because I already know how you moved from when we was in 60 building. So I'm like, yeah, he cool. So I called my man over there. We're going to call him T. I was like, yo, T. Bro walked over there. I was like, hey, look. We come in the cell. I'm like, look, this Ruben right here, man. He was like, what's up, man? He was like, you the one that made the wine, huh? Ruben was like, yeah, that's me. He was like, well, look, we can do this anytime we want, man. I told Weezy, like, look, we just invest. I'll get the sodas. He get whatever, y'all. We just go in and we just make the stuff. So Ruben was like, that's cool. So everything was straight on that. Me and my man jobbing the whip. So Ruben started doing his thing. You know what I mean? Like, 30 billion is really no interruptions. We had 2 night shifts that didn't care about no wine. The only time wine will get towed off is somebody come over there on the weekend that's a cop and they don't really work out junk and they just come through sniffing and they didn't want to tell something off. But they was letting us get away with that. But dudes will run plays anyway. Dudes will let people know there's a maniac in the booth. You'll see dudes come out they cell with the joint on before they do rounds. You'll see a dude sneak out the cell with the wine in his hand in front of everybody and just go stand in the shower with his shower shoes on, because there's a shower curtain. You can't see nothing behind the curtain except a dude's legs in his shower shoes. And dude had a bag like this the whole time. Dude's like, police will come in, the one that's a cop, they'll do their rounds, and then they'll probably still think it's something, but the whole time dude in the shower. You know what I mean? Dude in the shower with the joint. So that's how dudes used to beat them. Or sometimes dudes would just put it in the shower, like hang it up. They had a hook, you can just hang it up in the laundry bag, hope it don't bust, put it in the shower. Dudes used to try all type of stuff, man. But either way, Ruben had a good play, man. Ruben wasn't gonna get towed off for this, man, because everybody that was looking out for me was looking out for Ruben, y'all. So boom, Ruben went for my town. But when I told people like, yo, look, we about to drink some clear. Yeah, my homeboy gonna have clear. We gonna have clear. Everybody was like, what? I'm like, yeah, we gotta keep dude safe. We gotta make sure he's straight though. So everybody was on board. Everybody that rocked with me was on board. So Ruben did his thing. So Ruben made it happen, man. I ain't gonna lie. So the day that the wine came up, he called me to his cell, which was on the weekend. He called me to his cell. He was like, hey, look, I just want to show you. This is what you got to have. If anybody tell you you can make clear and it ain't up to this standard right here, they're a damn lie. He was like, taste this. He gave me a shot cup. I looked at that shit. That shit was goddamn red as a bitch. I'm like, pause. I'm like, yo. I said, that shit's some gas. I said, give me a cup of that shit. He was like, no, I gotta burn it off. So I'm like, man, look, that's crazy, man. I said, man, you sure? He was like, no, that wine gets for the clear. I'm like, all right. So even though I saw you got to have some straight gasoline to probably do what he's doing, man. So I seen him. Like, the only thing I can remember, y'all, I ain't even gonna lie, because I can't really remember every step of what he was doing. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. That's my word. I can't remember every step. But all I know is, man, he had that damn pipe. Somehow he had the pipe, and somehow he had the wine, and somehow the wine was kind of evaporating through the pipe from the hot pot. And like you would see it, he had a cup. He had a cup like right under the joint for when the pipe kind of like, whatever's gonna come out that pipe, pause, is gonna go into that cup. My word, I'm sitting there for like 15 minutes. Then it finally happened. It was like, I started seeing the jump drip because he got the hot pot rolling the whole time. I'm like, this shit started dripping. He was like, there it goes. I was like, I'm looking at it. He was like, I said, man, why you hitting the junk like it's cocaine, man. He was like, nah, you gotta taste it. He was like, taste it. I was like, nah. He was like, nah, put your hand under there and taste it. I was like, pause. I said, man, this junk tastes like vodka, y'all. So boom. I was like, oh my God. I was like, yo, that's some freaking gas right there, bro. He was like, yeah. And then look, he let the junk drip, 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 drip. And that junk, next thing you know, that junk was almost a full cup. He stopped the junk. I was like, well, he told me to look at it. Then he poured it in a water bottle. He was like, if it's foggy, it's no good. He poured it in a water bottle. As I'm looking at the junk going into the water bottle, y'all, I promise y'all, man, the junk was extra clear. Man, that junk was clear, man. I promise y'all, man. He made that junk, everything happen. He was like, get out of here. He said, let me finish this. So I dipped out. I told my homeboy, I was like, yo, we about to get lit. I was like, we about to get lit. We going to sell, start rolling up. We like, yo, we get lit today. We about to get litty. That's my word, we about to get litty. So we chilling, we like, yo, we just wait for him to put the cut down. Man, my word, he put the cut down. He called me. He was like, hey, look. He said, it's going to take me a few hours on these other bottles. He said, here. He threw me the jar. I was like, what's this? He was like, that's one of your bottles. I was like, you don't want none? He was like, nah, I'm good. I'm going to wait it out. I'm going to wait it out. You just go ahead and take that. I seen the jar. I was like, my homeboy around the top 10 seen me. He was like, what's up? I'm like, what the stuff's happy. I did a happy run. I'm like, I'm down there sideways going up the steps. I'm like, I get up the steps. I'm like, yo, bro, let's go ahead and sell. He was like, all right, going to sell. He was like, you got the joint already? That's mine? I'm like, nah, we just got to split this. I said, because he coming up with the other joints later. I was like, look, though. I said, man, let's hit this joint, bro. He was like, all right. Man, we went in the joint room. We went in the room. We poured, you know, when we drink the wine out the shot cups, like the medicine cups, we poured the joint in there. He was like, that's word. He almost spit the joint up. He was like, yo, this joint tastes like rubbing alcohol. I was like, man, that joint's on fire, bro. I was like, man, this joint crazy, man. I was like, look. I was like, bro, I'm sipping mine, bro. I hit that joint. I was like, you know how you can taste that joint? That joint tasted like some straight, man. I'm telling you what that joint tasted like. That joint tasted like Tito's. That's word. Man, that joint tasted like some Tito's, man, on everything. That joint was good. I was like, so we sipping the joint. Man, next thing you know, me and bro like halfway into the joint. My other homeboy come in. We let him hit it. We showing off. Hey, bro, look. Man, look, this ain't the wine, nigga. Come here. Niggas come in the joint like, hit this. He's like, where the fuck you get this from? Like, yo, nigga, this hit right here, nigga, this hit right here. They were like, yo, this shit crazy. Like, yo, this shit wild. So niggas pulling up. Goddamn, we like, yeah, we got the gas. And I got another bottle coming in. Bro got another bottle. I'm like, this is on. This is about to be on, man. So we chilling. Everything was straight, man. Like, we out in the pod, man. Like, I can remember that day like it was yesterday, man. Like, we was all out there lit, high, drunk, having fun. Like, we not the type that we gonna get to, like, fighting and doing dumb shit off the yacht. You know what I mean? Like, I just remember having a great buzz. I remember feeling like I wasn't even in prison, man. Like, that buzz, like, from hitting the la-la, then hitting that, like, that jump just felt like it was heavy on the brain. Pause. Like, it was just feeling like I was super buzzy. I was super buzzy, man. I ain't even gonna lie, man. I was litty, man. I was feeling good, yo. I was sitting on the table, like, just in a good mood. Ruben come out. He was like, what I tell you? I was like, that's what's up, man. That's what's up, man. He was like, yeah. So my homeboy was like, hey, look. He drunk, my homeboy drunk all up. He like, look. Damn, man, you did good. You like, what you gonna do with that bottle? What them bottles you gonna have? What you gonna do with that? Ruben was like, hey, I'm gonna sell it. Shit, I'm gonna sell mine. I stopped my homeboy like, nah, let Ruben do him, bro. He was like, hey, all right. So Ruben, you know what I mean? He came through. He kept his word, man. He threw us our stuff. We was straight. It was straight, man. I'm talking about when I told you I was babysitting that yacht, man. Like, I wasn't even drinking it unless we was hitting the la-la. Like, I was lit for like a week off that jump, man. My word. So the whole time, what made it crazy though, everything was going smooth, but Ruben, he ended up like, I guess, like, you know, the Richmond dude, like one Richmond dude that I messed with, like, but my homeboy messed with a couple of the Richmond dudes that was in the block. Now, he was in the block before me, so that's how he know a couple of the Richmond dudes. So I guess he went and let them, or they bought probably half a bottle. Like, I don't know what he did, but somehow they got hit to what was going on. Now, that's cool. I ain't tripping because nobody really cutting nobody nuts at this particular moment. But next thing you know, you see Ruben talking to them. You know what I mean? Ruben talking to them. So now I'm already pre-thinking because I'm a psycho. I seen Ruben. I pull up on him. I say, yo, what's good, though, man? What we going to do next week, man? He was like, yeah, we going to do something. Yeah, we going to do something. We going to do something. I'm like, all right, that's what's up, man. What I got to get? He was like, get the same thing. Get the same thing. We on. I'm like, all right, that's a bet. He got me up. I looked up. I seen him going up the steps to holler at the Richmond dude. He get up the steps. See him talking to the Richmond dude. My homeboy pull up like, I know y'all ain't gonna let the Richmond dudes take him, man. Like, keep him where y'all need him to be, making that gas, bro. Like, real talk. So I'm like, nah, Ruben ain't gonna, you know what I mean? Ruben ain't gonna do nothing like that, you know what I mean? I'm giving Ruben the benefit of the doubt. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, man. So like my bid was in. I ain't had to worry about nothing because I was straight. I have dudes seeing this. Like, that's how people think. It's sad. That's how people think in penitentiary, man. But I promise y'all, man, probably like a week go by. And we had that for a while. So now it's time to go to commissary. So when we go to commissary, man, like, you know, I'm about to bring all the stuff over there for Ruben to make. You know what I mean? I'm about to bring all the stuff for Ruben to make over there, jump, man. As I knock on his door, I heard somebody say, yeah. I'm like, yo. Somebody open the door. You know, that's Weezy. I heard Ruben say, let him in. I walk in the jump. When I walk in the jump, I seen another Richard dude sitting on his bed. I looked up. They had their own little separate bag of candy, bag of soda game. So I look at Ruben. I was like, Ruben said, I reckon it's enough for everybody, Weezy.
Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way. If you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous, did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments, get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes up.